Hello, fine people. We are here today with Mr. and Mrs. Sexton, Cheryl and Richard. So this is almost a year to when you were going to start this incredible feat. But really, it goes back a year prior to that, right? When we had that crazy conversation, you were talking about all this nuttiness and fun things that you wanted to do. But when you decided on this particular feat to run a marathon a day, carrying Slappy, the 25-pound slam ball, on your back for 30 days across North Carolina, like all this stuff, right? You know, take a month off from work, your life, your family, everything, not to mention the hours of training. And you trained for a year, is that correct?
It was a little less than a year, like probably about 10 months or so. Because we met, I'll never forget, because that was in July. And so, yeah, that's when we met at the cafe, and then we got COVID on the way home. Yeah. And that's what put our plans back, like, you know, a couple months or so. Yeah, so the serious training was like nine or 10 months.
So your wife, hi Cheryl, is a doctor, an MD. And yes. So when he came to you to talk to you about this, you know, initially, you know, 12 months prior to the feat, you know, pre-COVID and all that, you've supported him in all kinds of different things, but, you know, so what were your initial concerns?
My initial concerns were, of course, being injured. I mean, just because of the wear and tear on your body, doing it 30 days in a row, and being injured because he's running on the road across North Carolina. And he's had several near misses on other runs and biking things. And that's really one of my concerns. And then, you know, just the logistics of getting him everywhere and making sure he had plenty of support and things, you know, all of that.
Right. And that's kind of like when, I guess, when planning started, well, maybe not for us necessarily on the can side, you know, it's the support, but as I learned more, and one of the things you shared with me, Richard, was it the Iron Cowboy?
Yeah.
And he did or tried to do, and I can't remember if he was successful, Ironman triathlon, right, every day, 50 days in every state. Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
yeah.
Was he successful? I can't remember.
He was. So he had a like a dedicated support crew with him 24/7, and he had a big camper, and he did. I mean, it was an amazing feat. He did an Ironman distance every day in every state. You know, obviously with the logistics and stuff like that, it wasn't like an Ironman race. He had to do it on his own. So sometimes that would be, you know, him just running down a road by himself. Other times people joined him, but as it was apparent that he was going to be successful, he really started to pick up momentum, and it kind of morphed into this thing that was a lot bigger than anyone anticipated. So I thought that was really inspirational. But the other one, and really why this is all Cheryl's fault, is, you know where I'm going with this, right?
That's right. That's
oh,
right.
no.
1 million steps.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that. We're gonna go from the tip of Florida all the way to Maine. And
yes, the book I bought him, unfortunately, during COVID.
No good deed. No good deed. Right here, read this, sweetheart. Crap.
Well, remember the original intent was what I wanted to do was like do his route, except running on the road all the way from the Florida Keys up through into Canada. And I was gonna sleep on the side of the road.
I had a little pup tent, you know, I'm gonna have a couple pairs of underwear. And I was like, dude, like honestly. And then you told me to watch that movie, right? And this was before so I was like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. Cause you were like, I'm gonna do this all on my own. Mm-hmm. So then I watched the Iron Cowboy movie, and I was like, you can't, there's no way, right? Then I was all of a sudden, when I kicked in, I was like, there's no way that well, I guess you could, but like you support is required. You know, we had to get the team together, and spreadsheets and drivers and, you know, hotels, and it was kind of, and then it was almost event day, right? So here, let's just fast forward to, what is today, April 23rd? Yes. And you started April 27th?
The 26th or 27th, yeah, I can't
Mhm.
remember exactly.
So, this is kind of like really, you're getting the game time and everything. And Cheryl was going to be the first driver, to like test things out. And then we had Matt, our wonderful videographer and photographer, and, testing microphones and all kinds of stuff. And we were contacting the police departments to make sure that you were going to be okay, and routes and maps and all the hotels, and it was really
Yeah.
fun. That's my end. Your end, though, you're packing, you're getting ready. Do you even remember what was happening the couple of days prior? Like, were the kids going through, or are they kind of detached, just teenagers? And, Cheryl's freaking out and taking your blood pressure every 3 seconds, or, like what? Were you stuffing your face with your favorite food?
You answer for the
or-
kids, because I don't remember what the kids were.
The kids were, they were really gonna miss them, but they were excited for them, but they were gonna miss them. Luckily, their grandparents came to stay, so that kept them very busy for us, kind of distracted them to kind of keep it going. And then Richard, we had a whole room where Richard was just packing and repacking all of his stuff for it, and I think we went through it one more time. Before, like, I remember you kind of unpacking, like at the last minute, deciding you needed more cushions for your bags, and we were like going around finding cushions for your bags and packing an extra thing, and decided you wanted a different kind of cookie and stuff like that. But I think overall, he had been prepared. He had been writing lists and making plans for months. I mean, he had pretty much everything ready to go in bins, labeled for me.
It's true. And the part of the reason for why we're doing this today is, it was an amazing feat and it can't be forgotten. And so we're doing Ruck Revisited, right? So like every day now we're going to be, reliving and celebrating you and your heroic efforts and what you did. And so really the goal of the Ruck was, yes, you can Ruck for autism. Was to raise autism awareness and money for Champion Autism Network. So it was a tremendous success. And for that, we are eternally grateful, Champion Autism Network and the thousands that we serve and the people that you met along the way. And oh my God, you're awesome. Like wanted to make sure that everybody like just even starts to learn just a little bit, it's, all of a sudden you're on the radar and you're like trucking along the side of the road and we've got some media attention, but like, it was a year in the making, and now we're almost to the year before you started, and you're not fully recovered yet though. Is that's correct? I mean, Cheryl, you shared a stat with me. I don't remember what that was.
I think it was for every, like an ultra endurance event like that, they said 1 to 2 weeks recovery for every day you ran. So that could be up to over a year and a half recovery from a race like this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us, Richard, like what's going on with you now as you're, I guess, have you mentally recovered? Well, you'll never mentally recover because you're just this
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I
but
wasn't-
like from that feat and the stress and everything, like have you kind of, do you wake up with like in cold sweats, like, holy crap, I have to get up and run, or, with slappy?
No, I did after the Ruck, the hardest thing. So there was that feeling like waking up and thinking like, where am I going tomorrow? But that kind of subsided. But really, the hardest thing I had to struggle with was losing that incredible focused sense of purpose. Like every day, like this is what I was going to do, and it was making a difference, and I was meeting people, and there was this, whirlwind of activity around me, I mean, you've got a lot of attention focused on you, but also you have this, every day, every step forward makes a difference, and then it just ends, and it's like, we had that wonderful event at Surfside, and then, but then you're like, meh, what am I going to do? And so really that took, I mean, I was a little bit depressed for probably a month or two after that, just like not having that sense of direction, and going back to my, I'm self-employed as a consultant and as a substitute teacher, and sort of getting back into that really took a while. Now, I mean, like, mentally I'm in a very good place, because I'm back to having that balance and going back to my overcommitment of hours and yeah. But the physical part, that took longer.
It did take a while.
Yeah, and I'd
And
say
you're
I'm like,
still not fully recovered, right?
no, I'm close. I'm like 85, 90% there. Just there's still kind of some lingering fatigue in my legs, but I went to the doctor.
Oh, right.
And
He's a good
got some
boy.
tests.
Who's a
Yeah.
good boy? With picture cheeks.
Yep. And he said to scale, but not to do any ultras, to really scale back, and kind of refocus on I keep running, but refocus on a different distance. And so that's really been a big help in cross training. So that part, I think, I feel pretty good about that. Yeah. So it's time to do another one.
No.
Well,
Any
I think
takers? Anyone?
we'll take it. I'll get Stephanie. Like, good thing Stephanie's not here. She'll be like, no. So, as I guess we can wrap up here as we're, going to kick off to the Ruck Revisited, and this video will get posted tomorrow, today is Saturday, the 23rd, Sunday, the 24th. We are going to, the one thing that we have not shared, I guess, here in this thing is that with all the photographs and video footage that, Matt took, and all of the support drivers and me and Stephanie when we came up, and we have like just an incredible amount of data or, stuff, that we are blessed to have Alan Watts helping to compose some wonderful webisodes or documentaries. And so we've launched the first one, which was Rico, great guy. He was at the very beginning. And so we're gonna reshare that. And then as Alan cleans up and finishes the Monty episode, we're gonna be launching that. And we would like to share that about the time frame when Monty was with you for those 10 days. So we're gonna be leading up to that. Cheryl was the support driver for the first three days, I think.
Yeah.
And it'll be really fun to, at least for us, I don't know about Richard, to kind of relive that, because every time that I was able to come up and Stephanie would come with me, you just knew that you were part of something, like the collective you, of something really special. Something
Yeah.
like, just like, I get these numbers, like, just like when I think about it, like, it was hard for us to leave. We never wanted to leave. And I know that Richard, you sacrificed so much in like every way, physically, spiritually, emotionally, from your family, financially, right? Like all this stuff. Cheryl, you too, right? Your entire family, everybody sacrificed so much. And for that, I am most grateful. And I know that our families are as well. And so thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share or talk about as we head down Ruck Revisited memory lane?
Well, I would say, thank you for saying that about what, our sacrifice, but honestly, Becky, it was, it touched us too in ways like, I will never be the same person ever after that. Like it just, the intensity of it and the people we met and just, it was like being, now it feels almost like it was in a dream, like, mostly because I don't remember a lot of it.
Maybe that's a good thing. It's like childbirth,
Yeah, I'll give you
if it was that bad, no one would do it again.
Yeah, like Monty. So we go to Monty's yoga class once a week, which is awesome. He's such a great instructor, and he said, he's like, yeah, I was really worried the first day when I was crewing for you, because you at mile 24 you just laid down on the side of the road, curled up in a ball, and I was like, what? I did not. He's like, you're curled up in a ball on the side of the road. I was like, I don't remember that. Yeah.
Put that part out of my mind.
So that's what I say. Some of it is kind of a dream where pieces come back. And when I see the video, I have the privilege of kind of reliving it, the good and the bad, but you know, you can't, they go hand in hand, but you know, I couldn't have done it without Cheryl and her family, obviously our family putting up with it. But I think the important thing is we take this and go forward and see what else we can do. It doesn't have to be an exact duplicate. Maybe you can't, but we know how, I guess we know how it touches people.
Yeah, really.
Right. We know how this kind of event really grabs people, and they like, what are you doing? And you know, the stories of people just giving us money. Like, wow.
I know, like, here's $50, here's $10. Yeah. You're like, what? Hey, we're going for drinks. Wow. You know?
Yeah. So that's what we need to kind of keep with us, I guess, is how this type of event inspire, whether I do it or someone else does it, but how it can really inspire people.
Yeah, you know, and now that we're launching our ambassador affiliate program that goes kind of with the can card program and training restaurants and businesses in other markets. You know, we're onboarding Altoona, Pennsylvania, Cincinnati, Ohio, in negotiations with Springfield, Illinois. Like, we've got all kinds of great things going on. You know, perhaps, you know, one of the things that we're not doing something right now, like a physical event, is that we just didn't have enough time to plan.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to do is get with you, you know, in the next few weeks or whatever, and you're like, really kind of think about what that looks like and what we can do. And maybe people will chime in and they'll want to help out and do it in their market, or, you know, who knows, but you know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Like a Ruck in the sponsor city or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'll let you get back to your day. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you again for your heroic efforts, and love you to pieces, and give everybody hugs and kisses, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
Sounds good.
Bye.